Video. My name is David. I'm a certified professional coach, and I make videos. I'm hoping to help you guys understand your experiences that may have been traumatic, negative, to learn and grow from them. Today's video is about what it's like dating someone with borderline personality disorder. And I'm going to give a disclosure. This doesn't refer to all people with borderline personality disorder. This is the only mental illness that I talk about that I have to give this disclosure to, because I have people with the disorder watching my videos, and I'm glad, welcome, thank you. And they want to tell me that I'm stigmatizing or labeling people. I'm not whatsoever. I don't give people with mental illness any kind of label except their diagnosis. And I'm not diagnosing them. I'm talking about people with the diagnosis. People with a personality disorder, they fit a very specific criteria. And it doesn't mean that they have or possess every trait of this disorder. So I don't need anybody to tell me I don't do that. I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying all borderlines do. If you have BPD and I list a trait of BPD that you don't have, I get it. You don't have it. So that being said, let's continue. I want to talk about what it's like having a relationship with someone with this disorder. Every person's different in the world. Every borderline is different. They just fit a specific criteria of traits. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Okay? And I'm not discouraging having someone in your life because of mental illness. I'm not. I want to give you some awareness. I'm hoping that this video may help some of you that have someone in your life with this disorder to understand what's going on, to identify these things, to understand maybe some of the damages and difficulties of having relationships with people with mental illness like this. This isn't a stigma, it's not a label, it's a mental illness, borderline personality disorder, okay? I don't sit there and say they're crazy. They're not. That's psychosis. That's reserved for people who are psychotic. And it's not nice to call them crazy anyways, right? Okay, so a person diagnosed with borderline personality disorder that you may meet, I find it common not to categorize them, but it seems to be a little bit different. I seem to find the aggressive, harder, angry borderline, and I've also seen the contrast of the more vulnerable, victimhood kind of borderline. And trust is a major issue for them, isn't it? And borderlines can vacillate between the two. Biggest part of borderline personality disorder is that they're very unstable. They may not have very good self-awareness. They may not be able to regulate their own emotions. They may not be very mindful of the things that they're doing and how it affects others around them, which some people say they're lacking empathy. But it's unstable, being very unstable. So the first thing that tends to happen, not with all, but most, is the idealization stage, the phase. This is a form of splitting. The positive, the white, we'll call it, side of splitting. And someone who is unstable, someone who doesn't know themselves, and more importantly, someone who is dependent emotionally on others, that cannot regulate themselves, that cannot make themselves feel secure, do not give themselves emotional attention. They're not self-reliant. They're very reliant on others around them. So the idealization is even more intense. It's not just, you're a great person I'm going to spend my life with or make me happy. You are the answer to all my problems, to my dreams, my goals, aspirations, everything. They idealize relationships and people. And when they meet you, they will tend to idealize you, put you on a pedestal up here. Signs of very low self-esteem is what that is. We may all idealize at some degree, but placing someone on a pedestal above you is low self-esteem. You might hear words like amazing. You're so amazing, perfect, better than anybody, so good at what you do. I love how you do that. Oh my God. Borderlines generally can be very sweet, nice, caring, interesting, exciting, fun, cool, attractive, polite, considerate. And the relationships with them are typically very good in the beginning. Very fun, rewarding, exciting, connecting, close, fast. Fast, and that's a problem. The fast relationship, speed of it. Go, 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 go. I dated someone that was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder for less than 2 weeks, and it felt like 4 years. We went through every single thing you could possibly imagine until I ran away. 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. They want to enmesh. I don't have myself, I don't have my autonomy. Let's be one person. The true codependent. I feel empty inside, don't know myself, I'm reliant and dependent on others. I've had bad, horrible, awful experiences, and I'm looking and looking and looking for the right person right away that I need. I need person. We don't. We need relationships, and we have emotional needs that have to be met. We don't need a person. I don't need Scott. Get that? If I need Scott, I might be screwed. Scott may not be able to be there for me all the time. Okay? The speed may be sex immediately. I love you in a week. Let's get married. Children. Future faking. Yeah. Making promises. They may believe it. They may want it. It's exciting. Their hormones are going through the roof. Victimhood. This is vitally important to understand. Victimhood. We've all been victimized. And when it stops, we're no longer victims as long as we heal. If we don't heal, we may remain in victimhood. Most borderlines have unhealed trauma in their childhood, in their development. Their trauma could be so bad, it caused arrested development. Every single year, day is vitally important in our development as children to become adults. If I've been traumatized enough, that development may stop, arrest at 7, 8. I may never fully develop into a fully functioning emotional adult. I may not heal from my traumas, and I'm still a victim. And I'll let you know. I'll tell you. I'll tell you all the bad things people have done to me. All the ways I've been hurt, neglected, abused in childhood. All the people that let me down, screwed me over. Doctors, psychiatrists. We can't, as human beings, help but have pity and compassion for this. And this will get us into trouble. Big time. It's a false sense of trust. If you take a hawk can be very dangerous. They might be able to chew a whole finger off your hand. Some birds of prey are so strong, their grip could break an arm. But if that hawk has a broken wing and is flopping around on the ground squawking, it's not so dangerous anymore, is it? We may want to help it. Just because someone's been traumatized, abused, or hurt, or they're still a victim, it by no means deems them safe. Matter of fact, you could have a dog so injured, so hurt, may have rabies, they can become more dangerous. Yeah? An injured animal can become very dangerous. Victimhood. Our pity and our compassion forms false trust for the person who's been hurt and can't protect themselves. It also forms a responsibility for them, a committed responsibility that we may be unconsciously but willing to invest in over and over again. Take care of them, make them feel better, drop what we're doing, pay for things, give them rides, reassure them every day. They're unstable. Unstable makes people have impulsive behaviors and actions. They may self-sabotage when things aren't going their way a little bit and just ruin the whole thing. They may not be able to keep a job. They may. Doesn't mean that they're not borderline because they kept a job for 20 years. They may move a lot. Relationships may end and begin suddenly, fast. This and impulsivity or instability emotionally is acting out every emotion. We all have emotions all day long. We could have many emotions. We can have conflicting emotions. I could be very, very happy and proud that my daughter's graduating today. I'm very scared about losing my father tomorrow. He's so sick. At the same time, if I were to act these out, I would feel unstable, and so would the people around me. We have emotional needs that must be met. Most important may be emotional security. We can't have emotional security with unstable people, right? How can you have financial security if I'm financially unstable? If I can't hold a job and I blow all my money and spend it on stupid things and not pay bills, you will not be stable. You will not feel stable. You will not have financial security. In an emotional relationship, we can't have emotional security with someone who is unstable and impulsive. So relationships typically are good in the beginning. We don't know each other and we're just starting to attach. Okay? And over time we attach, and problems in relationships will eventually surface. They tend to surface because of stress. Relationships can be very stressful for some people and not so stressful for others. A stressful relationship. Someone with borderline personality disorder is going to endure a lot of stress in relationships that will become very stressful for them. Fears of abandonment, feelings of insecurity, feelings of, I'm still a victim, you'll hurt me from my past experiences, says that you'll abandon me and cheat on me and lie to me. This causes a lot of stress, and this is when unhealthy personality traits will surface in the relationship. Splitting, again. So before the bad things happen, when it's still white, splitting, we have attributions. We attribute things to people around us sometimes and thank them. They may attribute quite a bit to you, even after you just met them. If it wasn't for you, I would never be here. Thank God you came into my life. It's all because of you. A lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility, isn't it? Jeez. The positive attributions on the pedestal, the white side of splitting. But the stress under the relationships forces these unhealthy personality traits surface. And now we're in the black part of splitting, the negative part of splitting. Negative attributions. You're the reason I feel like this. You're the reason this relationship isn't working. You're the reason I quit my job. I had to because of you. The positive attributions, how amazing you are, to the negative attributions, how horrible you are. If I'm a victim and I'm not going to look at myself to start healing, I'm going to look outside and blame. So common. I may not communicate anymore. I may be paranoid that you're plotting something. I may withdraw if I'm borderline. I may tell other people, try and get reassurance that I'll be okay by other people, that the reason I feel bad is not because of something I'm doing. The reason I feel bad is because of something they're doing. I may be somewhat delusional, and I may write a narrative that goes against everything they said, that goes against everything that's happened. You may be an awful person now, and I may tell other people. The problem is when we assume responsibility for another person in a relationship and it's uneven like this, we get so invested, it can be difficult to end it. If we assume enough responsibility for somebody, it's like our child, and we don't want to abandon a child. We may keep taking care of them. People make the biggest changes in their life because of loss or fear of loss. The husband who won't quit drinking until finally the wife says, I'm taking the kids and leaving, may quit drinking finally. You are not helping someone with borderline personality disorder by keeping them in your life and doing things for them that they can't do for themselves. They must learn how to do things for themselves, and they are capable of taking care of themselves. They don't know how. They're too scared. Staying in a relationship, we're enabling, not taking care of mental illness, if this is how they are, what I've described, and they're not helping themselves. We're enabling and we're compromising who we are. We cannot have autonomy in a relationship with someone with mental illness that requires us to take care of them and do things for them. It doesn't have to be just money or time, attention. It's my emotional attention, the things that I have to do every day for myself that I want to, that I'm interested in, that feel good, may start to subside. Just like I don't believe you can take care of 10 children without neglect. And if somebody can't take care of themselves, they're going to neglect you. Someone who's unstable that you can't feel secure with starts to affect you. Staying in an unhealthy, neglectful relationship lowers our self-esteem. It lowers our self-worth. And it's very damaging. And I'm not even talking about abuse. It's very common for people with personality disorders to exploit others. It's also very common for people with personality disorders to not be aware that they're doing it, or not believe it's wrong, or not really understanding how it affects the person they're doing it to. And this might be a very hard thing to communicate and relate to them because we need emotional connection, which most borderlines may not do or value. This is just a brief outline of what it might be like to date someone with borderline personality disorder. And I'm not getting into any of the severe things, and I'm not getting into the mild things. It's a spectrum, but they do meet the qualifications to be diagnosed with the disorder, which means they exhibit very unhealthy patterns of behavior. And it does affect us. And we have needs in relationship. And without these needs, we can be very sick, very stressed, depressed, anxious, suicidal. So, people are very multifaceted, and we can't label them, and we can't say, they're very polite, so they're polite and great, nice person. Most people are somewhat polite. Most people are somewhat honest, and we're not talking about the positive things. We're talking about the negative things and how it affects us. Okay. Anybody find themselves in a relationship like this? Step outside of it and talk to somebody. Talk to your friends, bounce things off. Talk to a professional. I can identify these things and help you understand. Okay. If you've had a relationship like this, we must heal from it and learn from it. We don't blame the other person for our relationship. We blame them for the things they've done to us. But we don't blame them for the relationship. We were in it too. And we need to learn from this to not repeat it. Mistakes can be the best way to learn something. Repeat mistakes are the best way to hate ourselves. Okay? Any questions you guys have, please go down below and ask me in the comment section. I'll always answer them. Anybody that seeks professional help, you can contact me at daviddemars.com. Always ask me questions. Always leave comments. Leave your own experiences. I really appreciate when you do that. Love yourself first, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.